I hate leaving a dangling preposition or preposition stranding because I'm that pedantic that I don't like stranding prepositions at the end of my sentence. But yeah, let's chop it up. Yeah, that's how pedantic I am. I actually still care about stranding prepositions, even though I know that there's nothing actually ungrammatical about it. I still don't like doing it. So I'm gonna be watching YouTube and reacting to stuff I'm listening to fill the void when I'm not chatting with people. So if it's all right with you, and drinking some water. Mm. You get jet lag from Las Vegas to DC. You're not. I mean, yeah, you're crossing time zones, but it's not. You're only going from like Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time to Mountain Time. Like, not a big deal. Mm. I eat so much rice, guys. I'm gonna try to do a full. What's up, Cameron? Uh, Pat, Packers fan sub. What's up? It's still daylight outside, guys, but it produces so much heat comes in with the sunlight. I'd rather use artificial light. It's actually less heat produced by these my artificial lighting. Even though the real sunlight would be better, but not when it makes it 10 degrees hotter. I'm probably exaggerating 10 degrees hotter, but that's how it feels. Yeah, anyone still masking is a moron. Except for a friend of mine, Korean lady, she's masking up because she actually has some sort of autoimmune disorder. So she has to mask.
Throughout this process, I've been reminded of the words of the Austrian economist Friedrich Hayek. If socialists understood economics, they wouldn't be socialists. These past months have shown us anything. It is that socialists not only understand economics just as well as the capitalists who came before, but that we can solve their years of mismanagement through
No,
embrace.
you just got a bunch of money from the
There is
state.
nothing
You didn't solve New
fiscally
York City's
responsible
problems.
about
You
balancing
were
a budget
handed
with a
money
vax
from
cure.
New York State.
Note that he didn't even say there he's a democratic socialist. He was implying his own successes speak to the success
If I
of
could be given
socialism,
money to
an
cover the
ideology
cost
that
of
has
my debt
inspired
as well,
millions throughout the 20th century.
I mean,
Today, socialists
I
have
would.
so little power that it might feel more natural to
All
laugh
would
at
be
them
well
than
as
to take
you
the
know.
threat of their rise seriously. But unfortunately, Democratic primary voters are choosing to send socialists to Congress all over the country. These people have bad economic ideas, bad
Mm,
foreign policy ideas, and, as we are occasionally reminded, truly awful ideas about COVID. If these people gained enough political power, friendly reminder that social distancing and vaccines and school closures and business lockdowns and COVID masks, perhaps my least favorite governmental intrusion to our liberties in my lifetime, would be coming back. Of course, they would be mandatory. That is socialism's crowning principle. The government decides, you obey, comrade. You paired two of the most annoying things together. Your rants about COVID and your rants about democratic socialism. I thought COVID was over, but tell it to those people. Okay, have you ever? You saw this picture. You traveled internationally, correct? Yes, multiple times. I went to Ukraine recently. Okay, so do you know that a lot of different people traveling from a variety of countries wear masks and have been wearing masks before?
What's up, Carlton?
Made it a popular or unpopular thing for Americans that jumped on board. Some people just wear that to protect themselves often from a variety of things.
We still got that Super Mario Brothers 3 sun outside.
If you go pick your grandchild up from school, this is all okay. And
I
normalize
go
it
running
in any other
outside. It's like.
country. But in the US, because they attach it directly to COVID, everybody's freaking out at somebody else's decision, like protecting themselves.
So I have to go
People have been doing this for
run.
years.
That's why I'm running before 5 a.m.
Look, it's not my problem
just to beat the heat
so why does that take an umbrella everywhere
and the
you go,
humidity.
even on a sunny day, or you wear your construction people do that.
I've seen people in Arizona talk about you guys don't know heat.
But I just don't
Yeah,
do it, and I know these people
true. It's not as hot here as it is in somewhere like Arizona. However, that's all dry heat. Dry heat and heat and humidity are two different species. Like they don't know what it they they may know what it feels like to be in 110-degree weather, but they don't know what it feels like to be in 100-degree weather plus humid so thick you it feels that it feels like soup outside. They don't know that. So
which ends up being paid for by local and federal government.
oh man, the Super Mario 3 song. You know exactly what I'm talking about. If they be chasing you and they got like they got like this evil, like this little evil face, like and it's sitting there trying to get you. You gotta jump over the sun, but it's trying to because it goes low.
6 feet of social
Like it'll try to get you. Gotta put on your raccoon suit or your tanuki suit. I think it's a tanuki suit because I would, when we were kids, I think we all thought it was a raccoon. Now we know because it's Japanese stuff, it was actually a tanuki, or a raccoon dog, a tanuki.
I like that somebody in TSA is patting me down, has an X-ray machine. So we totally disagree fundamentally on making me feel protected.
So humidity makes it harder to breathe. Exactly, and exactly this is why a lot of people with bronchial asthma are advised to move to the southwest because the dry heat makes it easier for them to breathe out there. So like I said, when they try to say, oh well, you guys are a bunch of pussies because y'all don't know heat like we do, again, they're right. If you're talking about sheer dry heat, it is much hotter out there. I mean, they're in the desert. Like the desert is defined by its dryness. Like literally, that's because most people think deserts are defined by being these places where it's really hot. Actually, deserts are defined by how dry they are. That's why the Antarctic is actually the largest desert in the world. Some people don't know that. But I think Death Valley is the hottest desert in the world. But in any case, they're in the desert, so that's dry heat and it's miserable. But if you have AC or whatever, you can just avoid that. Um, and yeah, people say, yeah, when you get in your car, I feel like it's burning when you put the seatbelt on. It's like, It's at least as bad as back in the day with the old 80s and 90s cars. When you remember getting a kid, sorry, you remember getting the car as a kid in the 80s and 90s during the summer, and you still had those fucking metal seat belts. You put that bitch on like, you're like, oh shit. Yo, that, so I can only imagine being somewhere like Tucson or Phoenix and having to drive around like that. However, if I had to pick one or the other, I would still well, I would say I would pick the Southwest as far as dry heat over the heat and humidity. But the difference is that's all year round. So that's why I probably would still choose the East Coast because at least this shit goes away after September. Whereas over there, it's all year round. And I don't want to be in that dry, miserable heat all year round. Even like I said, even in the Philippines, it's not that bad. Like it's hot, but you have rainy season. Once rainy season comes in, it kind of chills out a little bit. And also in the Philippines, is at nighttime it cools off. So metal seat buckle brings back memories. Man, if anyone who grew up in the 80s and 90s or earlier, like 70s, 60s, whatever, if you're that old, everyone remembers those metal seatbelts and how fucking hot that shit was when you got up in that joint during the summer.
It's her own word. You just like saying this lady's name, so. No, I have to say it so much. I wish. You don't have to. Have we made her an AOC yet? What is Daria Lisa Avila? DAC? Actually, we start going with that. It reminds me of like Dr. Dre. I mean, she has a pretty name. All right, lady. Terrible communist views. Oh, she's pretty. She is pretty. She is pretty. She's objectively pretty. I can say a nice thing.
But yeah, like I said, the heat and humidity. But like I said, if I was someone who suffered from like some sort of bronchial problems, like I said, like uh, bronchitis or asthma, I would rather choose the Southwest. I was actually offered a job in it was I can't remember, it was I think it was Arizona, or it could have been New Mexico, with my previous job. He wanted me to run an office for him out there, which I actually should have did because I was supposed to be running an office in the Philippines a year prior. So once I came back from doing that, um, I should have taken that Arizona job or New Mexico job, whatever it was. I think it was Arizona. It probably would have been fun, new experience, get out of the Baltimore and DMV area. Should have took it. So every time he brings this up and brings it back to the forefront, we connect it to 2020 where he still won't admit that he lost that election. And we have a problem of somebody who's trying to undermine the integrity of a system that is working well. Look, I have zero interest in looking back at the 2020 election now, and we should move on from this, obviously. But first of all, we have no idea what he's going to say about this specifically. Is it going to be that, okay, there's foreign influence in our elections was actually a Democratic talking point for a very long time when Hillary Clinton lost and said the same things Donald Trump said about it being an illegitimate election due to foreign influence. Remember the whole news cycle we endured for 2 years about Facebook bots and Russia, and everything. What if it's that? What if that's what he's talking about? The foreign social media posts or something? Does that a prime time address about something that Elon Musk discussed a few months ago? How many bots are available on his app and pointing out countries that people are from that are specifically obviously nothing too urgent if it was scheduled 3 days in advance. But prime time signifies something specific. Like I would think you're going to address the war in Iran. Very significant topic. We're back to fighting. We're in the middle of a memorandum of understanding, but we're back to fighting. I think that will be the number one thing to address, especially for
State of the Union. But instead, he's going to get on primetime and talk about election fraud. And the reason why I'm so frustrated is because this ties directly to the push for the SAVE Act and like the housing bill that he refused to sign that still went into law that was going to help a bunch of people, or it will help a bunch of people save money as they buy their first houses or multiple houses. This will help people get rid of some of that red tape. He wouldn't even sign that law because he wants to pass the SAVE Act. So again, if he takes the time tonight to talk about any type of election
I hope he does
fraud,
pass the
and he's
Save Act.
once again making sure the priority and the message of his administration at this moment, a key time where we can talk about finances or war, is voting integrity. And it's not a pressing issue compared to those two things that I just named. So I couldn't imagine why he would call a primetime address to talk about fraud.
By first-time home buyers to purchase houses would be if taxes didn't kick in for them when they did that, like it would under Abdul El Sayed's policy of keeping the tax rate low for elderly property owners, but then jacking it up if they.
You know what else would make it cheaper? If people lived in New York, like under Mamdani, and they kept a civilized rent cost, and then they use the money that they save since their rent didn't triple every year to go purchase a home because now they don't have to have ridiculous out of control moves to every.
Forbid people who own their property from selling and doing what they want with it. Right. That is very much out of the socialist playbook, but we don't need to go back to that. I don't know. He's going to talk about a bunch of things. It's Trump. He's going to rant about whatever it is that's going on. I don't
Trump
know.
teases primetime address
We're
Thursday.
speculating right now.
Well,
But that's all we have to work with.
I'll be watching it on here Thursday if it's
It's not like we're making it
eh,
up.
probably not. It's probably gonna be like at 8 p.m. I'm not watching it till 10 p.m. I'll watch the snippets the day after. I'm not staying up.
I think that it's really
So I'm trying to be in bed by like 8:30, 9,
go on a lot of shows, specifically
9 max.
Lindsey Graham's death.
Any updates on Mitch McConnell's health? Well, they might mention it on this news. The last thing I saw was yesterday. It was a picture of him in a hospital. He just needs to retire. Well, he did say he is retiring after this year, I guess. So he's not running for re-election. So after this year, he's retiring. I mean, the dude's like 200 years old. Looks like Myrtle the turtle. Like it is time for him to go. I mean, Lindsey Graham literally just passed away. Although Lindsey Graham wasn't as old as I thought. He was only 71, which in Congress year 71 is like a freshman. So I'm surprised. But they might mention some updates on Mitch McConnell, but I haven't heard anything since yesterday.
Congress is supposed to approve the war, and they have this idea that, well, if it's 60 days, we have a 60-day window to act before Congress needs to approve it, but this resets every time hostilities resume. So we can say, okay, we're not at war, now we're at war again.
Is that
reset?
That's the administration's
position, which, again, Congress has no interest in fighting for some reason, but that's BS. It's total BS.
Yeah, because I think now
it's funny people leave live comments on this stream because they take the clips from the morning and turn it into a
limiting what the president can do now that we're already in this
into a live stream in the evening, but it's already aired. So I'm like, who are these people leaving comments for? Like the hosts of the show are not going to read these. Well, some of them do. I think Lindsay does sometimes read them, and some of the other previous co-hosts have. But I know that Robbie Suave says he won't read them. Like he's not going to read the comments, and because he knows the nature of YouTube comments.
We're not negotiating, so now that seems like you should vote against it. So I hope they do it again. And they could just make.
But it's like when they're addressing these stuff specifically to the host, and I've made that mistake myself. They're not going to read them.
We're down 2 senators.
Right, and also we're coming into the war directly affects, I think, with the way that Congress is. We always talk about the current, whether it's Democrat or Republican, whoever's in control at the time of the midterms usually loses the midterm. And so the fact that there is no specific and organized next step that the Republicans right now can point to about how they're in lockstep about the way forward. I mean, there's criticism from every side of the aisle about what the next steps in Iran were. The Iranians were crazy for most people, and no one knew the way forward. So the only thing that I could imagine the addressing would be the next step because this directly affects
Tempted to
so
put
many
this
people
down, so
whether
I'll
you're
have to keep
voting
holding it
in
in my
midterms on
hand.
the economy only. Well, this affects that. Whether you're voting on foreign
See
how to
something.
interfere in foreign nations, you're voting on that.
They attacked our ship.
I understand. So you can call it retaliatory attack.
This work. Finagle this. Yep.
If we're not starting war with the again that we started it, then we say Iran has been attacking.
I've asked the over and over again, which event are you pointing to that we were responding to? No,
That could work.
October 7th was responded to by attacks on Hamas. Multiple.
Hamas is funded by Iran.
Yeah, but
Then-
multiple attacks were, we've come up with a peace plan for that war. So there was a response,
Well, I was the
a
terrorist.
country that was allowed to respond to that, and then there was President Trump who touted that he ended that war and come up with a peace plan and a whole peace war. So you could not then, almost 6 months after the president has said
Like,
he's come up with
yeah.
a peace plan and a way forward, be the same country that
That
decided to
works.
start a new war based on October 7th. That's not
They just
rationale.
started our boats again.
No, they shot at our boats mid-war, mid-memorandum of understanding.
You see, like it's a little hard to say who started what after
Which is why I said it doesn't
years
make sense to try to
and
pull countries.
decades and centuries of conflict in the Middle East between Muslim radicals and others. Like it's hard to say who's started this. There's no who
All
started.
all I know is that when Biden was president, we
We're
weren't
trying
at
to
war with
stop
Iran. I know when Obama was president, we weren't at war with Iran. That's all I know. And so I'm starting
Well,
from
This
them
is
because
exactly
we
my
weren't at
perspective,
war.
but a conservative would say, yes, under Obama we weren't at war with them because we agreed to a deal that gave them all this stuff in exchange.
And now we've agreed to a new deal, or we've agreed to a new memorandum that's going to give them even more than Obama gave them and pay for them to rebuild the entire country. Oh, but we're not paying for it. Investors that get incentives from the U.S.
Well, for taking nuclear off the table from them for a while. I don't actually care if they get their money back as long as
No
we get
nuclear
something.
bombs was in the Obama's JCPOA. It was like in the first few months.
Like a short time period.
No, you might say they weren't complying by it, but that was written. And so what makes you think Iran will comply in any different way with no different oversight? The same international agencies will be overviewing how Iran complies. So nothing changes.
Well, what changes now we do them up in our nuclear materials are at the bottom of the underground, buried under.
Okay. A dozen states are banding together trying to stop the merge between Paramount and Warner Brothers. I'm going to get into
Just
that
let it
next on my
happen.
lens, so I'm going anywhere.
They weren't objecting when Netflix was going to buy them out. Netflix was already on Instagram saying, "Yeah, we bought Warner Brothers," until Paramount offered a better deal.
This got a little bit bigger. A coalition of 12 state attorneys general, led by California Attorney General.
They only want to block the merger because Paramount is friendly with Trump. That's the only reason they want to block it.
And fundamentally reshape the entertainment industry in ways that hurt consumers, workers,
Warner Brothers is going to sell to another studio, irrespective of whether it's Paramount or Netflix. They want to sell because they're under huge amounts of debt.
Been on the books for over 100 years. It prevents mergers that may substantially
Yeah, see,
lessen
California,
competition
it's predictable.
or can create a monopoly. There is no
You
debate.
keep talking about monopolies.
This
Let
merger
the
will snuff out
let the
competition,
market handle itself.
drive up prices,
Every time the government tries to
diminish
to
quality,
outthink the market, it just makes things worse.
and shows
Let market forces dictate whether these companies merge or divide or go under or thrive.
$1 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery has already cleared major hurdles, including shareholder approval in April and regulatory.
Just let it go
approval
through.
from the
Just let it happen.
Just last month, the companies have been signaling they hope to close the deal with.
And it's better than
and
and
now the
and
timeline is suddenly in question.
it's still.
So as for the
I can see why people don't want two major studios to merge, but it's still better than Netflix taking them over. Netflix had taken over Warner Brothers. They were pretty much going to kill the movie industry because they were going to shorten the times that movies were actually out in theater to make it more so that people would stream them. So
The states argue that concentration of power would definitely come at a cost. According to the complaint, the merger.
I didn't know who bought Warner Brothers. So many people claimed they owned it. So Warner Brothers Discovery. So it Warner Brothers has had a history of being bought out. Like, so remember, like 10 years ago, what was it like 11 years ago, AT&T bought Warner Brothers.
Thousands of jobs could ultimately disappear
Um,
across California, New York, Georgia, Louisiana, and other states.
but then they sold it
The impact won't stop with actors, writers, and producers.
to the folks that own Discovery, so it became Warner Brothers Discovery.
Truck drivers,
Um,
dry cleaning,
and I
employees,
and that was fine for a while, but now they owe a lot of money, so they were looking for a merger, and so they were initially going to go with Netflix. Netflix offered them a generous packet, but they didn't want all of Warner Brothers content, um, like the Discovery stuff. They were going to sell off the Discovery stuff. And a lot of people didn't want Netflix to buy it because, again, Netflix would have having Netflix owned them would have destroyed what's already left of the the movie going experience. So Paramount stepped in. Paramount CEO is cool with Trump, and so he flexed he flexed his nepotism to put this merger through, and they outbid Netflix, and they said they wanted to keep all of Warner Brother and Discovery's content, not just the Warner Brother stuff. So that's where we're at now, and they've cleared almost every legal hurdle. So if it goes through, the merger will finalize by the end of the year or early next year. But now you got a bunch of little blue states that don't want this to happen, and I strongly believe it's just because they don't like Paramount's politics. They don't like the politics of the Paramount CEO. Paramount themselves were also merged a year or two ago with Skydance. So Paramount is actually part of Skydance. So it's really Skydance Paramount that's buying out Warner Brothers Discovery. I know that's confusing.
Paramount execs may get upset, but this is exactly why antitrust laws exist. It's the responsibility of regulators, legislators, and courts to determine whether corporate growth serves the public interest or threatens it.
I completely disagree with you.
So do I.
Wow.
So do I. Let the market do what the market does. Let the market forces work itself out.
Consolidation is going to cost a lot of people that work throughout their city.
The effort to fight this is going to be a waste of time because it's going to lose in court.
Yep.
Antitrust law, the basis of antitrust is harm to the consumer.
There's no harm to the consumer with this merger.
That this merger is going to harm just consumers, not caterers or rival companies or any of that. It's just consumers.
And that's the only strength to the antitrust laws is to prevent harm to the consumer. That's the only legitimacy to the antitrust laws, which are often overused.
Well, now I'm going to be able to do that because the company will be able
What's
to
up, Benny?
manufacture IP that combines those things. So there's no obvious. It's up for grabs whether it's good or bad. It's like subjective based on your preference.
The detriment to the consumer is like if you have one subscription at Paramount Plus and then you have one HBO Max subscription and they're competing because they're competitors in the market and one's charging $12.99 but HBO's charging $11.99. You might go with HBO and say, forget Paramount, it's too expensive. They're combined now and they might just decide they're charging $14.99. Guess who fails in this whole situation? The consumer.
That's not harm to the consumer. You don't have to buy it.
But
On top of that, I mean, if you really don't want to pay the cost of streaming services, you can sail the seven seas, if you know what I mean. Pirate Bay.
Netflix and YouTube and against
Yar.
just cutting cable entirely or having the cable package or just scrolling video on TikTok or Instagram. Like, your attention is now besieged by video in all forms on all devices at all times. The media ecosystem is bigger than ever before. So this idea that journalists are going to lose out on jobs, there are more jobs in journalism than there have ever been. There's just a lot of there aren't more jobs at a journalism company.
Don't act like a starting,
your own YouTube channel faster than ever.
Yeah, but don't act like that's going to bring you a salary like coming out of school and getting a job in healthcare and all the things that you're looking for when you work for
Well,
a
if you're good at it,
newspaper
it
already. I know, but you're saying this. There's a
one
lot of anomalies you're pointing
specific
to.
category
I'm
of
giving us
employment that
one.
existed for 50 years is undergoing transformation. Yes, but it's not the government's job to protect that specific kind of work
Yeah,
against
exactly.
the market.
This is why I find myself
You know, it's
as a
easy to
classical
justify
liberal,
like
often
gays
agreeing
or
with
gays,
libertarians on a lot of
like,
stuff.
going out
Well,
and
but not everything, because some things I think the libertarians are completely bonkers about. But I agree with him on a lot of stuff because he's a libertarian.
resources in-house between two major powerhouses and figure out how to narrow that down. So that looks like doing one less movie a year. Guess who catches, the short end of the stick in that? The consumer. Because now this huge behemoth of a company is doing less content. Or if it just means, okay, we're relying on what we know works. Fast and Furious, franchises that work over and over again. We're going to do more and more of that. That is not competition. Take risks.
Well,
No,
okay,
we want to
now
see them take.
you're getting that
The consumer wants
entirely subjective.
no, that we want to
There
see
are
the
millions of
companies
people
take.
who love Fast Furious, one of the
Fine,
Fast and
but they
Furious.
also know
Right.
people who get annoyed that they try to recreate Supergirl and recreate the same franchises over and over.
I get annoyed by that too, but there's more
Exactly.
content.
So these two powerhouses that
You don't have to watch it.
are combining. With
So
one
what?
another.
You
We're
get
gonna see
annoyed that
more
they
of what's
keep
safe, rather than more
remaking
consumers
superhero
looking for
movies and
variety
other
of
sorts
content.
of
That's the space we're living
IPs.
right now. They're competing
You don't
against
have to watch it.
causing them to have to be more creative. If you're
It's
making
not.
us pay $14.99
It's
a
not
month,
food.
put something new on there. Netflix
Is it, have you seen the
Marvel
new
has great.
session?
It's
Oh,
so
excuse me,
consistent
season of
with
X Men '97. I have not watched it.
in the market.
Yeah, I've watched the
For the people
first.
that have options out
So
there and
the
still
first
wanna
week
watch
they
it,
dropped
suppose
3 episodes the
Apple
first
TV
week,
still
and
has
then the
it if they wanna
second
compete.
week
So
is
they
just one
HBO
episode, so it's
programming
4.
is usually
And they
top
introduce
top quality
Apocalypse
production, top quality
in
writing.
Sabanur. It's pretty good, actually. It's pretty good.
But we lose the whole outlet.
The difference between X Men '97 and the original X Men, the animated series, it's less Wolverine focused. And I like the animated series back in the '90s. There was more Wolverine focused because that's my favorite X Men. My favorite X Man. I mean, he is, like Deadpool said, he is the X Man.
From the
So.
collaborative process, News Nation gets to have Hill reporters and experts on its airwaves and vice versa. And this is made.
But it's good. You should check it out. Like I said, they dropped the first 3 episodes on week 1, and then and the third episode was the Sabanur part 1, and then the fourth episode on week 2 is Sabanur part the Apocalypse and Sabanur part 2. So you can watch all 4 back. You can just binge watch it like as like a little animated movie. So it'll be worth it.
But old man yells at cloud. But go back to the like.
Plus, I mean, just the intro alone just gets you hyped.
Because you had to wait for it to come on at 7:30 p.m. and you had to just watch it. That now you can easily find it. You can find old things. It's all getting better, and there's no evidence that.
Is that facts? Wolverine is the Jordan of X Men in terms of popularity. Clearly.
And to win his lawsuit, they have to prove that it's harmful in a very specific way, not to other companies, not to would-be prospective journalists, but to the subscribers to the product, the consumer, because that's the foundation of antitrust law. And there's no way you're going to be able to prove that because there are obvious benefits to the consumer of doing it this way.
We're going to see, and also Paramount's going to have to pay out its shareholders until we go through like.
What I'm wondering is if and when Disney will ever buy Sony Studios or just buy Spider-Man, because they want so much money to buy Spider-Man back from them, like literally billions of dollars, because Spider-Man is such a huge franchise because he has so many characters involved uh, in the Spider-Man in the Spider-Man universe, because Spider-Man has his own multiverse within the Marvel multiverse. He has his own Spideyverse, which is why when they released Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because the Spider Verse is a whole little subsector of the Marvel multiverse. So there's so many characters involved and stuff like they Marvel Studios has wanted Spider-Man back. Although I think the reason why Spider-Man movies are so good are, has been because it forces Marvel and Sony to work together to do it.
According to your standards, your sister didn't get the job because no experience in government and because we need to see more women. What's going on? I don't understand how somebody unqualified just because this is a very sad story. Lindsey Graham passed away. Very sad. Doesn't mean your sister gets a job. Should my sister take this role if I'm missing? She hasn't done TV a day.
Why is she flip? Why is this? Why is this bitch flipping out?
This is ridiculous.
Let me try to talk you through it here. If she was being appointed to fill,
She'll be there till January. From now to January, it's like half the year.
Spider-Man movies make money hand over fist.
no,
Yeah,
but
I'm.
the problem is
That's probably the only. If I see no other movie this summer, it will be Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I still want to see Masters of the Universe. I actually watched it already on my on Stremio, which is my Fire TV app that allows me to play torrent files. But you have to actually add the torrent. You have to add a torrent app onto the app itself. I mean, well, it's an add-on that you have to put on it called Torrentio. With Torrentio as an add-on on Stremio, you can play torrent files. But it's allowed by Fire TV because Stremio isn't a third-party app, unlike Cinema HD was. So, and yeah, this is real, by the way. I have two of them.
She should not run for the seat to have it for 6 years.
I think I've shown this before on my.
Pick someone for Henry McMaster.
Pretty sure I showed these on my live stream before, but in case I haven't.
The front runner for the, and I would rather actually have it decided by the people. So paradoxically, I think that, saying she should not, just because Lindsey Graham is her brother, is entitled to a Senate seat, but we need
about having and fight their whole life for public service and commit to a lot
did it
to
for,
get.
for a little bit of time. He died. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, so the same people that were looking at the last election easily point to the fact that there should be some type, calling for any type of democratic process to not ordain.
There will be a
Wait, let me finish. To ordain Kamala.
And they're not sharp, but they still hurt.
The point was the criticism of the process. Let the people decide who they're going to. The people did not decide right now who will replace Lindsey Graham, and there was nobody who actually decided. And even if I know they couldn't decide in a particular situation, right? Somebody had to select who. They didn't decide. It could be somebody who understands politics or has worked in politics aside from my brother. Like, I don't know how to enroll people in health insurance because my sister's been doing that for 15 years, right? That has nothing to do with my life. So if I got ordained for her job, it just like no matter how you slice it, at least hire someone who's worked in healthcare before. Hire somebody who has understanding of application process so that people can actually get their coverage once she enrolls them. You don't hire a sister because it needs to get done and it's an honorable thing to do. Politics is not about being honorable. Politics is about having policy that applies to the people and having experience that applies to the job.
I agree. If there was more time, then it's just till the end of the year. If it was more time than that, I would say we really can't do this, but it's only till the end of the year. So
There's a lot of important things happening between now and the year, like hugely important things. I've named them. Like the entire
staff
tells her to do. So would you prefer somebody who's like, okay, whatever anybody tells me to do versus somebody who actually understands the scope of the landscape for funding our entire 2027 budget for the country? When you prefer somebody who's voting on that type of thorough understanding of what the steps.
Why is she having a meltdown? This always happens when senators die, that the family member takes their seat until the next election. The next election.
No, personally, actually, it was an
This is a common practice in U.S. Congress that dates back from parliamentary politics.
What I really said was, given this situation, there is really no correct move at this point because the correct move was to just not have Biden run for re-election. Given that, when they were debating, they should have an open primary. They should do some lightning round.
to pull those out in the bar and what people will be scrambling everywhere. No, they'll just start. No, if you pull this out in a bar, people will probably just start laughing. And be like, and they'll just be like, where you get those from, man? That's probably what would really happen at the bar. People would just laugh, like, where you get those? Are those sharp? Like, nah, they not sharp. Okay, I mean, but are they steel? Oh yeah, no, they're actually like stainless steel. Oh, that's cool. That's what would be happening. Then someone would probably make a snide remark like, "Still can't fight though, you little bitch ass nigga." So like, that's what was really gonna happen at a bar. No one's gonna be scrambling like like with an actual X-Men movie.
Well, you know what? All the files have to be released.
Like within universe, yeah, people be like, "What the fuck?" But here where people have watched X-Men or read X-Men comics for the past 60 years, people just be like, "Bro, what the fuck? Like, what are you still a virgin? Why you?" That's what really happened. Like, no, I'm married. See the ring? They're like, sure you are, buddy. Sure you are. No, really, I'm married. Yeah, okay, buddy. Married to that little anime doll. Is that it? I'm like, no, she's Asian, but it's not anime. See, okay, yeah. So now she's Asian too, right? Yeah. Yeah, you got a wife. I'm sure, buddy. Yeah, go play with your Wolverine toys.
Bill Maher held nothing back in criticizing media outlets, BuzzFeed and HuffPost, was speaking to the man who just became the owner of both.
Media mogul Byron Allen, who recently acquired a majority stake in the two websites, was a guest on Mars Club Random podcast.
Byron Allen, the comedian.
Like Huffington Post have been horrible to him, and he denounced them as part of the woke left. What?
They were like peak woke, yeah, and
They really were. Oh, it is Byron Allen, the comedian. It really is.
this is HuffPost.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's what I hate about the left, the purity. But all these places are a bunch of snarky, like millennial, probably nepo babies. I mean, I just know how these kids who have these jobs were, how much they were indoctrinated before they got there, and they are not American.
So he's talking about the way these sites used to be
Ariana Huffington.
in their heyday. Well,
Yeah.
right, she owned the Huffington Post.
I'm not sure who the BuzzFeed owner was. Owns both now.
Jonah Peretti and Ben Smith and so right.
So Byron Allen bought both of them.
Yes. Well, so they merged.
Yeah, BuzzFeed and HuffPost were annoying as fuck.
So this BuzzFeed and Huffington Post were once huge.
Yes, biggest digital outlets out
This
there.
goes back to the point I was fighting you.
I liked them 20 years ago when I was an annoying little campus progressive.
Juggernaut. It's the biggest site on the internet. It's amazing. Oh my God, what a monopoly. We could never stop it. No one can possibly compete. Today it's worth nothing because it got outcompeted.
A lot of people underestimate Spider-Man's strength just because because some of the because casual fans aren't aware of how strong he is. That's why. I'm guessing you mean, I don't know if you mean like fans or you mean people within the within his universe. If you're talking about within his universe, people don't. He's not like like when you look at Spider-Man, he's not a buff superhero, so it doesn't immediately appear to people how strong he is. If you're talking about within universe, he doesn't appear like strong. Like when you see Superman, he has like an impressive butt. Like he looks jacked. Superman looks jacked. Batman looks jacked. There's several superheroes that look jacked. Spider-Man has more of the build of a gymnast. So within universe, he's like, if he takes off his shirt, he's obviously very fit, right? But he's not jacked. But if you're talking about fans or casual fans, a lot of them don't really read the comics, so they don't know how strong he is. But look at the movies, and they often show how freaking strong he was when he was holding together the two halves of that yacht. That's crazy. Or in Spider-Man 2 when he was holding up the thing to keep from falling on Mary Jane. That was crazy. He is ridiculously strong. Although some also, I mean, he's not the only one. Some people also don't realize that Wolverine has a little bit of, not a lot, but Wolverine has a bit of super strength. Daredevil has a bit of super strength. He's he has more of like a super durability as well. But Wolverine and Daredevil both have a slightly tweaked super strength, particularly Wolverine.
What is X enable?
I think Daredevil might just be peak level human strength, like Batman, just like peak level human strength.
Or say you.
But he's more durable than a regular human, though. That's for sure.
Free speech, which they enjoy.
But yes, when it comes to Spider-Man within universe, people don't just immediately see him as someone who's that strong because he's not jacked. And as far as the casual fans, they're not really aware of his strength from the comic books. Um, Outside of when he pulls off these amazing feats of strength in the movies.
And also to destroy people. Like now it's being done.
He's a Daredevil can take a beating, yeah, definitely. He's a bruiser.
These are just like less ideological, just because all the liberals left for blue sky, where they also
Which partly comes from his training from Stick.
I search my name there every now and
It's funny people didn't realize the connection between Daredevil and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like Daredevil and his Master Stick and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and their Master Splinter, the radioactive material that splashed in his eyes and made him blind but gave him superpowers. The same exact radioactive material splashed on the turtles when it hit when it hit Daredevil as a kid. It hit them when they were baby turtles. Um, and Splinter, who saved them and gave them their made them into mutants with superpowers. And Daredevil fights the hand, and the Teenage Mutant Turtles fight the foot. And they put in the hand in the new Spider-Man Brand New Day, and they're going to be the more comic book accurate version of the hand as opposed to the version of the hand they showed in Netflix Daredevil, which I still like, but I didn't like the hand in the crossover series they made with with Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and what's her name, Jessica Jones. Like that version of the hand that was run by Sigourney Weaver, that was so fucking corny. But I like the version of the hand they had in season 2 of Daredevil. That was pretty good. But the way they made the hand in their little crossover miniseries, that was just stupid. Having Sigourney Weaver, old ass, as the head of the hand, that was dumb. But they're going the hand in the Spider-Man Brand New Day this month. That's a comic book accurate version of them. And come on, they got the Punisher in there. And when he jumped in the trailer, when he jumps down and they're coming up at him and he's coming down, you can almost tell that they digitally edited Daredevil out of it. It's almost a given that Daredevil's in it. Like it's almost a given. Like how you gonna have the hand and not Daredevil? Like especially when he appeared in part 3 as his lawyer, it's almost a given that he's gonna he's gonna be back in there, but this time as Daredevil, not just as his lawyer. It's just like how they digitally edited the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home when he was fighting them on the construction site. The Lizard, Electro, Sandman, and all of them, and it showed him jumping and swinging across. And then it was digitally edited because when you actually watch the movie, you see that it's all 3 Spider-Men. It's the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, and and the other guy that plays Amazing Spider-Man. All three of them were swinging along at the same time, but they digitally edited it in the trailer so you didn't know that it was all three of them.
Yeah, I think it's still.
And then they did that iconic landing that was which was dope as hell.
I would love to see my high school friends on Facebook. I just see like slop AI.
Oh no, well, I don't have. Never mind. You can say.
I don't see anything from
I
any
do that because of where my
ever
biggest
was
program.
on
Right.
Facebook. But
Yes, on other pages on Facebook, you have like a Finsta or like a
well, that's on it.
on Facebook you can have a.
So the Turtles and Daredevil live in New York. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so like, but you know, the difference is like the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles uh, created their own comic book company at the time, but they modeled it over Daredevil since they were huge fans, I guess. So, what is your favorite uh, John? Is it edits? John Edis says, "What is your favorite movie or series?" Star Wars: The Original Trilogy, Batman 1989. Favorite TV series? Um, um, Favorite TV series? I don't know. I mean, like, there's Seinfeld. It's one of my favorite TV series. Carlos says, I liked how Daredevil had to figure out how to fight the hand. Yeah, Netflix was just great, man. So what time is it? Let me watch this, and then I'm gonna probably close this out. So, if you could meet any character in the Star Wars universe, who would you pick? Luke Skywalker. Easy. I want to meet Mark Hamill, but I don't know when he. I don't think he does that too many appearances. William Shatner does though, because I would like both of them to sign like something that I have, a like a comic book or a book. Well, I don't have any Star Trek sci-fi novels, but I have sci-fi. I mean, sorry, I have Star Trek comic books. I would ask him to sign. It would probably cost a lot of money, but it'd be worth it to have William Shatner sign something. Same thing with Mark Hamill. Or I might actually have them sign one of my action figures. If that wouldn't be too difficult for them. I mean, it's just self-explanatory. It's Luke Skywalker. So.
Joining us now back then is one of his best friends, President Donald Trump. I know you lost one of your closest friends and an ally in the Senate. How are you feeling?
Well, I don't feel great. He was a great guy. He was a friend. He called me all the time. He just, I say, stop calling me, Lindsay.
Stop calling me Lindsay. That's funny.
I'll never forget the way that I always let him go to voicemail. It was
Yes, I can do the Star Trek
it was
Vulcan greeting.
obviously he's just opening the eulogy on a lighthearted note. Sure, the poignancy follows. Loved playing golf. Loved being outside. It wasn't that he was a great striker of the ball. He wasn't exactly a perfect. He wasn't Jack Nicklaus. He was not Tiger. He was totally against me. He said, I'll get you in South Carolina. I'm going to get you in South Carolina. That didn't work out too well. It was a nasty campaign. He was tough and nasty. I wanted to see the war with Ukraine end. I was very glad that he was.
The problem with Lindsey Graham he was like this staunch neocon, and I don't like people who are staunch militarists who are too old to fight themselves. Well, that's unfair. I would say I don't like them if they've never been in the military themselves. I don't think Lindsey may have served. I don't know. Might have to look that up. Pretty sure he didn't though.
Gone straight to number 6. That guy.
Plus, I used to enjoy when all of our presidents had served. Like all of our pretty much all of our presidents have been veterans up until Bill Clinton.
CNN State of the Union, Fox and Friends, Trump was everywhere, remembering Lindsey Graham, even when the host of the show appeared to not want him to.
These people suffer from a very fine disease known as contention syndrome, and he was seeing that. And
Mr. President,
he was really come a long way on terminating the filibuster.
But Mr. President, did you notice anything different?
They found millions and millions of ballots. It's impossible. And they didn't know in 2 weeks. They let it be known an hour later.
So, Mr. President, real quickly, did you notice anything different from
That he's going to be in the runoff.
on the phone?
The elections are very dishonest. And you
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. President, the TV station's going through a tunnel. But of course, even his best friend Donald Trump had to concede that Senator Graham's career did have a bad moment.
Now, he had one bad moment, and that was, the January 6th when he stood up. All right, now I've had it. That's it. I can't do it anymore. So I give him a 99 instead of a 100. Most people, a lot of people are at 100, but he did have that one little moment.
You know, my favorite part of any eulogy is when they announce the person's life score. It's a eulogy like it's Portnoy doing a pizza review. Yeah, Graham had a good undercarriage, good mouthfeel. Yeah. Well, I'm doing a score, life score. I'm doing a life score over here. Anyway, 8-2. I'm going to give him an 8-2, solid score. If he had let the people kill him on January 6th, 9-2, monster score.
Oscar Boy says it's Jesus Black. I'm sure Google can answer that for you.
Now, before Graham passed, he was at a funeral. He was kind of joking about how
I don't like strategic incompetence. I think most of you younger folks claim to be so much better adept at using the internet and digital products better than us older folks. You should be able to answer simple questions that a search engine can do for you in like a few seconds.
Middle East peace is about as ambitious as a bucket list item can get. I want to bring Israel back into the family of nations and go whale watching.
M5123 GJJ says, yo, dog, what's up?
Write what you want to accomplish in your name down, because Donald Trump had a very different interpretation of Lindsey's last wishes.
He was pushing the Save America Act like crazy. This is a big blow to the Save America Act, let me tell you.
And then Lindsey said to me, his voice weakening, barely whisper. He said to me, Donald, when I die, float my body down the crystal clear, reflecting cool water. So that I may lie in state in your completed ballroom. I said, Lindsey, don't! Save your strength, Lindsey! He said, no. One more thing. I want, before I leave this mortal coil, for them to put your name back on the Kennedy board.
I miss the old Jon Stewart that used to make fun of the left and the right.
Now, a lot of you may be wondering, as I was,
But it seems like he's scared to attack the left anymore.
die before Mitch McConnell.
Right, how did Lindsey Graham? That was what I was saying earlier.
Is that possible? McConnell was the one who spent a lot of time in and out of hospitals since his Capitol Hill buffering episodes. McConnell was the one who suddenly disappeared for a month and nobody heard from him to the point where the governor of his own state
Yeah, but we don't
asked him
know.
for proof of life.
We don't know how
Which
bad.
coincidentally, we got yesterday. Ladies
We
and
don't know
gentlemen,
how
I give
bad
you
and progressive Lindsey
totally
Graham's
believable
illness
evidence
was.
that Mitch McConnell is not only alive, but the happiest boy in the hospital. He's the happiest boy in the hospital. That's the smile of a Make-A-Wish kid whose wish was that everyone else in the hospital lost their health insurance due to his f***ing policies. And after that, of course, Mitch and his wife released even more photos. Here they are at Disney riding Splash Mountain.
Matthew Lambert says Elvis stole music. LOL.
And apparently they climbed
I don't know if
the
he
entire
stole
thing.
music, but obviously
And
he
then,
took
let's say, went
black
to a
people's
World Cup.
blues and turned it into what he did. So I guess you could consider him a culture vulture, but I mean, all music is like that is the history of music. Like people borrow from other people or inspired from other people,
Regardless,
may
McConnell
go
is
on
still
to
here.
make their own music.
Graham's gone. And so it was time for
That's
Brady to
been
say
the
his
history of
legacy.
music. If you look at
No, this is so
uh,
tough for you and for so many there on Capitol because it really was so.
if you look at ethnomusicology, yes, I actually took a course in ethnomusicology. Don't ask me what the shit meant because it was such it was an easy class, but it was so poorly like done. But anyway, uh, if you look at ethnomusicology, like music is music is inspired and shared by many people across different cultures and ethnic groups. So unless there's like explicit like plagiarism, like everyone borrows from everyone. Look at K-pop. K-pop is literally just American pop music rebranded in South Korea.
Take him off the table. Although I guess the numbers have been pretty tight in the Congress for a while now. I wonder why that is. The
It's like if you took Belle Biv DeVoe, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, New Edition, Menudo, uh, and a lot of the other boy bands, and then you repackaged it in South Korea. That's what K-pop is. Matthew says, I'm from New Orleans and we love our music. If you came here, not one person will play Elvis. I mean, I guess.
Vehicle breakdowns are costly. It was the thermostat, $2,600.
Avowedly, 34. The current Congress is the third oldest in U.S. history, with the average age of senators
I mean,
64.
who plays Elvis nowadays anyway? Like, unless you are a baby boomer or you're from the silent generation, no one listens to freaking Elvis.
He's the sixth member of
I knew one person my age. I think she was younger. I knew one person I think my age or younger that listened to Elvis. Of course, she was, I mean, and she was just this little, she was this little country white chick. So I'm sure there are some young folks that like Elvis, but yeah.
Or they just come into Congress every morning with a shovel? What the f is going on down there? It's not like the job is dangerous. They're just sitting there. They're not filming Deadliest Catch. Oh, come on! No way he's in that show. Wow. He really is healthy. And not to put too fine a point on it, But the last person to speak to Graham is our 80-year-old president. The governor who chooses Graham's replacement is 79. One of the candidates being considered is 78, but he backed out because he's too important at his current job in the House of Representatives. All to save the top branch hearings, which are being co-run by 92-year-old Chuck Grassley and whippersnapper Dick Durbin, 81. The
Jesus
entire
Christ.
Congress is falling apart due to a lack of not just political will, but bone density.
83-year-old Florida Democratic Congresswoman Frederica Wilson recovering from an eye surgery.
89-year-old Chuck Grassley getting hip replacement.
Senator Patrick Leahy, a broken hip. Nancy
Yeah, I
Pelosi's
mean,
hip
we have
replacement surgery.
Jenny Hoyer in the hospital with pneumonia. Eleanor Holmes Norton is in the early stages
what's
of
the word
dementia.
for
Who's 71, had a stroke. Bernie
a
Sanders
government run by old
sidelined
people?
a heart attack. Congresswoman Kay Granger
Forgot what you
lived
call
in
it.
an assisted living facility for dementia patients while still serving in Congress and drawing a congressional paycheck.
But yeah, we got an
And all
oligarchy
those,
run by
by the
old
way,
people.
are the ones who are still on the table.
I don't care if it's run by old people, but not people who are so elderly that they are, you know, in stages of dementia or too physically weak to even like be physically in office. Like, no, you need to retire at this point.
Why are we tolerating this level of national frailty in our lawmaking?
Gerontocracy, that's the word. Gerontocracy.
It's not disrespectful.
We have a gerontocracy running our government.
The one thing they don't do is put them in charge of everything. What's the for argument here?
Well, age is a relative thing, as we all know. His
No, it's not,
experience
you
is
old
an
ass
advantage
insider
to
trading
us
bitch.
and not to be described as a disadvantage.
Oh, experience, that's right. This is actually the most experienced Congress we've ever had. How's that working out?
The most unproductive Congress in the first year of a president in history, potentially the least productive in modern history.
Fewest laws passed since at least the 1950s. As our government has gotten older, the economy has gotten worse. Inequality more severe. Our safety net shredded. The irony is that this long past retirement age government has policies that force everyone else to have to work long past retirement age. Mostly, though, without a health care plan that covers a mysterious month in the hospital. Because we don't have a system that rewards experience and competence and performance. We have a system that rewards incumbency. These people aren't brilliant.
Yeah.
Fucking barnacles. Utterly incapable of addressing a world moving much faster than the speed of Matlock. Why does it matter? Here's the co-chair of the House Army Caucus. Co-chair. Congressman John Carter of Texas, explaining why it's imperative to remediate our outdated defense systems.
Another issue that's very important, the department has historically relied on outdated production techniques, energetic manufacturing, which may have remained unchanged since the Second World War.
What? He's about to say Civil War. We heard it.
Since the Civil War, Second World, wait. The blur in my mind, having been at both.
How is the department ensuring that investment in next generation energetics manufacturing?
The funny thing is, there probably were people alive who experienced both the Civil War and the Second World War. That would be crazy as fuck to have lived through Civil War, World War I, and World War II. That would be crazy.
I take no pleasure in this. This is not right. The stakes are too high. There's no way that dude even knows how to put his phone on silent. How can our government better use of the chat kaput? You got we're working on the government, want to get a chat kaput? If I can get a chat kaput to put in the government, we're going to get a government to put a chat kaput. Get it in assurance and an assurance in the Civil War, the chapter what? I do not think the people deciding rules about the most advanced technology on Earth should look like they're steam powered. I'm gonna shot you, but no. Get some more coal up the ass and get me going again. Come on. Come on now, shovel that shit right up my ass. Everyone understands you cannot have the country ruled by people this old and frail. Everyone except them.
Senator Mitch McConnell said over the weekend, I'm not taking a break from the Senate business that matters to you. I still have unfinished business to complete on your behalf, and I have every intention of finishing the job you elected me to do.
No, you need to leave, sir. You need to leave and work on your work on your health.
You don't have to finish the job. And by the way, I am going nowhere because I have unfinished business. Literally is what a ghost would say.
They still want to with their power, and they still want to go. They still come.
If only there was somebody in government who understood that. We need a Democratic Party that opens the door to new people and new ideas. That can't.
All right, guys. Well, I'm out.
Back to school is back.
Peace.
You can check off everything on the guys, you gotta elevate the basics.
Wait, did I end this?
I can see that.
Oh, you don't want to end. I've seen it refused it. That's funny. Interesting. The stream they won't end. Crazy. Is it nah, you still let me end the stream. I'm wild.